While medieval Europe strictly forbade women from even learning to read or write, Japan already had the world's very first female novelist. Her name was Murasaki Shikibu. In the Heian court society of 1,000 years ago, she unlocked the deepest corners of the human soul using a brand new script invented by women themselves. This is the story of a woman who fully mapped the human mind 900 years before Sigmund Freud even began psychoanalysis. Section 1. The Millennium Illusion. Word count per sentence is strictly kept short. Easy words only. Did you know that everything we believe about literature might be wrong? Most people think the modern novel started in Europe. We are taught to praise Western masters like Dostoevsky or Tolstoy. They are famous for exploring the deep traps of the human mind. But what if this history is just an illusion? What if the true pioneer lived somewhere else entirely? 1,000 years ago, a brilliant woman in Japan achieved this exact miracle. She mapped the human subconscious long before Western psychology even had a name. Her creation was not a simple fairy tale. It was a massive, complex story about love, trauma, and human nature. This brings up a fascinating question for all of us. Why does the modern world still think great literature only belongs to the West? Have you ever noticed how school textbooks ignore ancient Asian masterpieces? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The truth is finally coming to light. A lone female writer in ancient Japan was already centuries ahead of the world. Her silent voice is shaking the foundations of global history today. Section 2. Murasaki Shikibu, the icon of Japan. In Japan, this woman is an absolute legend. Every single school child knows her incredible history. She is a cultural icon of the nation. Yet outside of Japan, many are shocked by a mysterious truth. History does not even know her real name. Today we call her Murasaki Shikibu. But this was merely a respectful nickname used at court. It was taken from a famous character in her own story. Imagine achieving the greatest literary feat in human history, yet you choose to hide your true identity. This perfectly shows the beautiful virtue of Japanese modesty. Murasaki Shikibu lived in the royal court during the brilliant Heian period. She was a quiet woman with a remarkably sharp mind. She watched the rich nobility every single day. She saw their smiles, but she also felt their hidden pain. She understood the deep, complicated reality of human relationships. So she picked up her brush to write the ultimate truth. She did not write for personal fame or power. She wrote to capture the timeless nature of the human heart. Japan has protected her legacy for 1,000 years. She left no official portrait, but her words will live forever. Section 3, the Dark Age verse the Golden Court. To understand her greatness, we must look at the world 1,000 years ago. At that time, Europe was trapped in the Dark Middle Ages. Life was harsh and education was a rare luxury. Most importantly, women were completely shut out from the world of learning. They were forbidden to read, write, or share their thoughts. Their inner voices were buried deep in the shadows of history. But across the ocean, a completely different world existed in Japan. The Heian court was an oasis of art and high culture. Here, royal and noble women were highly respected for their brilliant minds. They did not just watch history happen. They were the ones creating the highest forms of art. The court became a vibrant salon for female intellectuals. They studied literature, practiced poetry, and engaged in deep, witty conversations. Can you believe this incredible contrast? While Western women could not even sign their own names, Japanese women were running the cultural heart of their country. This unique environment allowed a genius like Murasaki Shikibu to rise. Japan created a paradise for female intellect that the West could not even imagine. Section 4. Hiragana, the language of the soul. How did these Japanese women rewrite literary history? Their secret weapon was a brand new alphabet. In ancient Japan, official documents used heavy Chinese characters called kanji. This was the strict world of men, politics, and cold logic. But Heian women did something truly revolutionary. They softened these hard characters to create a soft, flowing script. They invented hiragana. Unlike kanji, hiragana was designed specifically to capture the human heart. It could express tiny changes in feeling and delicate shades of romance. It was a beautiful language made by women, for women. This new script completely changed the way people communicated. It allowed writers to leave empty spaces and avoid harsh, direct words. Think about it for a moment. This ancient alphabet actually shaped the DNA of modern Japanese culture. The art of reading the room, or speaking softly, comes directly from this script. By inventing hiragana, these women did not just create a new way to write. They created the very soul of Japanese sensitivity. Section 5. Mapping the mind before psychology. Murasaki Shikibu used this beautiful alphabet to achieve something impossible. She wrote a massive story, spanning 3 generations and over 400 characters. But its true power was not its size. It was its incredible psychological depth. Western experts often say that the psychological novel started in the late 19th century. They point to European masters who explored guilt and hidden human desire. But Murasaki Shikibu did this nearly 1,000 years earlier. She mapped the deepest corners of the human subconscious without any modern textbooks. She understood the crushing weight of loneliness. She painted the burning pain of hidden jealousy and the heavy traps of deep regret. Her characters do not just act. The story explains exactly why they feel driven to act. They struggle with internal battles and emotional trauma just like we do today. Think about the timeline of human history. Centuries before Western science even named the subconscious, a Japanese woman was already masterfully rewriting it as high art. She proved that human emotions do not change over 1,000 years. She became the true mother of psychological depth. Section 6. The invisible masterpiece. Are you tired of books that explain absolutely everything? In the West, great literature usually relies on loud, direct words. Writers show anger by making characters scream and sadness by making them cry. But Murasaki Shikibu created a completely different masterclass in art. Her genius lay in what she chose not to write. In her world, characters almost never shout or throw emotional tantrums. Instead, their deepest heartbreak is hidden in the quietest details. You feel their grief through the fading scent of incense in an empty room. You see their hidden love in the careful choice of a silk sleeve's color. A single unanswered poem can convey a lifetime of painful loneliness. She did not force the reader to feel sad. She simply created the space for sadness to naturally bloom in your own heart. This raises a beautiful question about how we communicate today. Do you prefer messages that say everything directly, or do you find more power in what is left unsaid? Why do you think modern society has lost this delicate art of reading between the lines? Let us know in the comments. By keeping her words quiet, Murasaki Shikibu made her emotions incredibly loud. She proved that silence can hold more truth than 1,000 loud sentences. Section 7. Decoding Mono No Aware. At the very center of her 54 chapters lies a beautiful mystery. It is a profound feeling called Mono No Aware. If you ask global linguists to translate this phrase, they will all hesitate. It is a deeply Japanese concept that has no direct match in Western languages. So, what exactly is this hidden emotional frequency? Mono no aware is the deep, bittersweet sadness, triggered by the impermanence of all things. It is the realization that everything beautiful must eventually fade away. Think about the way people look at cherry blossoms in the spring. We admire their stunning beauty, but a part of our heart aches, because we know they will fall in just a few days. Murasaki Shikibu gave a clear, timeless voice to this nameless ache. She connected the changing seasons directly to the human condition. Her characters constantly watch the shifting moonlight or the falling autumn leaves. They see their own short, fragile lives reflected in the mirror of nature. This philosophy teaches us not to fight time, but to love things because they do not last forever. It turns ordinary sadness into the highest form of spiritual art. Section 8. The DNA of modern Japan. This ancient literature is not just a relic of the past. Its genetic code is completely alive in modern Japan today. Think about the daily life of people in Tokyo. Why do they carefully avoid direct confrontation in business meetings? Why do they rewrite text messages over and over to protect harmony? The answer goes straight back to Murasaki Shikibu's courtly world. She lived in a society that valued subtle social cues above all else. In her stories, love was never won by shouting blunt confessions. It was a delicate dance of reading into the quiet spaces between letters. It was about sensing the hidden truth behind a polite smile. This is the exact birth of Han and Tateme, the private truth versus the public face. Even today, young Japanese people use social media in this identical way. They hide deep, complex meanings behind a single choice of words. They do not need to speak loudly to understand each other. This incredible sensitivity is a direct inheritance from 1,000 years ago. Japan did not lose its ancient soul to modern technology. It simply gave its ancient wisdom a digital screen. Section 9. The Global Awakening. For centuries, this masterpiece remained a well-kept secret within Japan. The language was too ancient, and the cultural codes were too deep. But in the 20th century, the first major English translation finally unlocked the box. When the Western literary world opened the pages, a wave of pure shock swept through the elite universities. One of the greatest British writers of the modern era, Virginia Woolf, read this text with absolute wonder. She was famous for pioneering the complex stream of consciousness technique. This method captured the messy, floating thoughts inside the human brain. Yet, when she reviewed the Japanese masterpiece, she made a stunning confession in her private diary. She admitted that Murasaki Shikibu was already using this exact modern technique 1,000 years ago. She wrote that the story possessed a timeless, supreme refinement. Think about the massive weight of that realization. The West believed it had invented the modern psychological novel, but a lone woman in ancient Kyoto had already mastered it centuries before them. The global timeline of literary history was permanently broken. Section 10. The Timeless Prayer. Why did this nameless woman choose to write such a massive story? She did not do it for personal power, wealthy rewards, or global fame. She simply wanted to give an eternal voice to the wordless human soul. She wanted to capture the tiny, invisible feelings that everyone experiences but no one can explain. Her quiet brush created a miracle that successfully traveled across 1,000 years of time. Today, the world is moving faster than ever before. We are constantly flooded with loud noises, harsh data, and direct demands. In times like these, the gentle wisdom of Murasaki Shikibu becomes even more precious. She reminds us to slow down. She teaches us to find beautiful, profound meaning in the quiet spaces left unsaid. This cultural treasure belongs to Japan, but its deep heart belongs to all of humanity. It is an intellectual miracle that we must protect, love, and proudly share with the future. Thank you so much for exploring this incredible journey with us today. If this story moved your heart, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. We look forward to reading your beautiful thoughts in the comments below.